The Hidden Caste, the story of the OSU, outcast of Igboland, a taboo that still haunts Nigeria. Long ago, in the lush green heart of Igboland, southeastern Nigeria, where the earth speaks through rivers and ancestors whisper in the wind, the Igbo people lived by ancient laws. They honored the Alusi, the powerful spirits and deities that guarded villages, brought rain, or unleashed storms when angered. In those days, when calamity struck, a failed harvest, a deadly plague, or an abomination that stained the land, the community sought a way to restore balance. They needed a scapegoat. Not just any offering, but one that would carry the sin away forever, so they turned to a person. Sometimes a slave captured from afar. Sometimes a criminal seeking mercy. Sometimes even a freeborn who volunteered in desperation, rushing to a shrine to surrender themselves for protection. They would be dedicated, consecrated, to the deity. The priest would perform the ritual, and in that moment, the person became OSU. OSU, the word echoed like a curse. It meant dedicated to the god. But it also meant untouchable. Sacred yet polluted. Owned by the spirit, no longer fully human in the eyes of the village. From that day forward, the OSU lived apart. Near the shrine, in a corner of the forest, or a segregated quarter. Their hair grew long, tangled, and dirty, a mark of their status. For no one dared cut it. A razor might slip, blood might flow, and that would break the taboo. To harm an OSU was to wound the deity itself. But to touch them, eat with them, marry them, that was forbidden too. They could not share kola nut with freeborns, the Diala, the true sons of the soil. They could not pour libations to ancestors or dance in the village square. No titles, no chieftaincy. No blending into the community. Their children inherited the mark. And their children's children. Forever. As one old Igbo writer, Chinua Achebe, described in his famous book, he was a person dedicated to a god, a thing set apart, a taboo forever, and his children after him. Imagine a young man named Chidi, born centuries ago. His great-grandfather had fled to a shrine during a time of war, offering himself to escape death. The deity accepted. Chidi grew up knowing he could never court Ada, the beautiful daughter of a respected farmer. Their eyes met across the market, but her family whispered, OSU. Do not go near. The love ended before it began, or picture a Sunday morning in the early days of Christianity. Missionaries arrived, preaching love and equality. They built churches and schools, inviting everyone, freeborn and OSU alike. Two OSU entered the church one day, hopeful. The congregation stirred. Whispers spread. Slowly, those sitting closest moved away. Seat by seat, row by row. The new faith welcomed them in words, but old fears kept them apart. Even after the shrines crumbled, the deities forgotten, the British came and went, schools spread, and Christianity became the dominant religion. The stigma lingered like smoke from a dying fire. Marriages halted when families discovered an OSU ancestor. Titles denied. Graves dug in separate places. The pain passed down generations, a silent trauma. Why did it endure? The text we draw from asks this haunting question: why couldn't Western education, missionaries, or modern laws erase it completely? Because it was woven into identity, fear, and tradition. Even as twins were no longer killed, as albinos were protected, this one wound refused to heal fully, but change is stirring. In recent years, 2018 in NI, the ancient spiritual home of the Igbo, 2021 in Saka, ceremonies in villages across Anambra, Enugu, Imo, traditional rulers, priests, and communities have gathered. They perform rites of forgiveness and abolition. They declare, no more OSU. We are all Diala now. Hands shake. Kola nuts are broken together. The curse is lifted in those places, yet in many hearts and hidden corners, echoes remain. A 2025 call from church leaders urges Igbo, the Igbo people, to end it once and for all. To stop asking backgrounds for marriage. To welcome OSU descendants into titles, dances, and families. This is not just history. It is a living story of human dignity, of how fear can divide even the closest kin, and how courage can heal what time alone cannot. The OSU were never less than human. They were scapegoats for a community's sins. But today, the true abomination is letting the stigma survive. Let the old taboos fall apart. Let healing begin. What do you think? Can a people truly move forward while carrying such shadows? Share in the comments. And if this story touched you, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more untold African histories.